Hello, I'm Amy Zaley for the Jerusalem Connection Report Red Alert, Wednesday, November 22nd. Programming note, the Red Alerts will now be issued on Wednesdays of each week. Happy Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, happens to be Thanksgiving in America. This is where we celebrate and give thanks to the Lord for the provisions He provided during the early days of settlement, where two cultures worked together for mutual survival in the New England area. On that note, we have several things to be thankful for amongst us who are opposing BDS efforts worldwide. BDS means boycott, divest, and sanction, and these are activities, political, economic, and cultural, that seek to choke Israel from the world stage and from existence on the map. Oftentimes, these efforts are also anti-Semitic. In fact, most of the time they are. Australian artist Nick Cave, singer, songwriter, and novelist, has specifically added Tel Aviv to his latest tour because of being asked repeatedly to sign petitions to boycott Israel and refuse to have concerts there. He was so taken aback by these efforts that he specifically made sure that Israel was on his next tour list. He was invited to sign petitions over the year to demean Israel and refuse and encourage other artists not to perform there, and he refused to sign those, saying he did not feel comfortable. And then after deep thought realized not only was he refusing to sign it, he was going to make it a point to play there. That concert is scheduled for November. Moreover, Mr. Cave noted in his interviews that he absolutely is against the silencing of artists for any reason. Moreover, at a panel of artists in Hollywood, American artist Alan Parsons was on a panel in Hollywood just this month discussing BDS activities, and he announced that he repeatedly advised his fellow artist Nick Cave to ignore the unrelenting calls for him to cancel his November concert in Tel Aviv. "Please ignore it," he said. "It is an appeal for a boycott, not a real boycott," said Parsons. Parsons further went on to address his relationship with Roger Waters, the frontman for Pink Floyd, who's probably amongst the most vocal among the entertainment industry to rail against the state of Israel and encourage artists to boycott it and avoid going there altogether. A quote regarding that from Mr. Parsons is, "I made it very clear I was not interested in his views on cultural enterprises in Israel." Parsons went on to say, "I told him," that is Roger Waters, "I was going to go to Israel, and I like Israel, and I like Israeli people. I've grown up my whole life with Jewish and Israeli people. It was a very unpleasant and awkward situation with Roger, and we've had a falling out ever since." Now, it is unfortunate to lose a relationship over a political issue. However, Alan Parsons is making the greater point that it is a moral issue, in my opinion. In other good news, a Spanish court in Seville had suspended a BDS boycott that has been in place since 2014 by a small town in southern Spain called La Roda Andalusia. The mayor there had, in 2014, instituted a boycott of Israeli products by scanning barcodes of products that came into the city for resale and sending them all back. The Spanish court suspended this and causing with an injunction stating that it was anti-Israel as well as discriminatory. This decision was hailed by the Lawfare Project in Spain, which brought the suit up into the court system. The Lawfare Project is a U.S.-based think tank and litigation fund that strives to protect civil rights and human rights of pro-Israel and pro-Jewish communities around the world. The La Roda City Council announced its participation in BDS in 2014, as I said, and has since been enforcing it using these barcode reading machines to send back the products. The lawyers for the Lawfare Project have said that Mayor Romero of La Roda should be relieved of his public duty as he is being discriminatory in its nature. Another victory on the political front is Berlin's mayor, who I reported a couple weeks ago was receiving backlash amongst the social media crowd in Germany because of his lack of backbone regarding anti-Semitism within his city and the call for him to be stronger in Jewish rights and sensitivities, since Berlin is the center of Germany. Well, the BDS Act movement in that city was planning on various protests and rallies during the Kristallnacht anniversary, which is the night that commemorates the terrorizing of Jewish businesses and the roundup to send Jewish people to the concentration camps. The Berlin's mayor, to his credit, and I am quite proud of him, has spoken up against this and is seeking to stop those rallies on that particular night. But what can we do? You and I, as we sit and read these stories that commemorate the good things that are happening in terms of backlash against BDS movements. Well, what we can do, besides talking about it with our friends and family, is we can shop, because Black Friday is the day after tomorrow, and this is the biggest shopping day in America. And because of internet shopping, the values and sales can be enjoyed really for many people around the world. The best way to boycott the BDS movement is to do the opposite of what it seeks to do, and that is to buy Israeli products. The best way to do that is through the internet, because now things can ship all over the world, and Israeli distributors and retail stores in America can also ship domestically. A quick Google search of Buy Israeli Products will send you to several websites. These are the top 4. These particular websites will offer you links to retailers that will ship or have storefronts in a city near you. You can search location, and you can find everything from wine to olive oil to beauty products, fragrances, clothing, jewelry, beautiful jewelry. Anything on your Hanukkah, Christmas, or holiday list, you can find on these websites and others by buying Israel. Shavua Tov. Have a great week. I'll see you next Wednesday.